Shabbat Shalom, thank you for joining me for another week. In this week's portion of the Torah, we're going to learn about two interesting things. One is epigenetics, that the ability of your ancestors' memories or their realities or something to do with their behavior traits coming down into us through our genetics. And we're also going to deal with curses, evil eyes, and negating them. There's a lot of people out there, believe it or not, who actually think evil, negative thoughts about other people and want bad things to happen to them. And some people are scared like, oh, there's an evil eye on me. First of all, the person that should be scared is the person putting an evil eye or putting bad thoughts on someone else. Because we learn from the story of King David, from the Torah, that when you judge someone or you place judgment on them, you're actually bringing similar judgment onto yourself. Because the heavens are always trying to see where we're holding, so they want us to assess other people, and based on how we assess other people, the heavens assess us. So when you start calling people out with your eyes and looking, and getting angry at them, you're actually could be bringing that same level of energy on yourself. So the better is just to let go. Don't hold any hate. First of all, it doesn't even make sense. This person did something wrong to you, so that was like A. Now you're going to let them do B, and you're going to let them live inside of your head and make you feel negative and age you quicker and ruin your experience and then bring judgment on you. It's a total bad trip. Back away from all that negative energy. Stop looking at other people with those eyes. And if someone is looking at with you with their evil eyes, give you a very quick life hack because you can cancel their evil eye right away, is not to care. And it's not to respond and not to get angry, just to drop it also. Let it go. And Rabbi Nachman says if someone publicly insults you or calls you out or tries to yell at you, and if you stay silent and you don't get your ego all worked up and you don't try to fight back, it's actually like a little mini Yom Kippur for you. It's going to cleanse you and help restore you. So when someone's, getting angry or calling me out, no problem. All day long, my brother. Bring it over. I'm going to stay calm. You'll cleanse my slate a little bit. I'm going to pray for you that you brought some evil eye on yourself through your own evil eye. And let's go. Let's dive in and see where this magical journey takes us today. Thank you. Okay, Parshat Balak, in memory of my father, Shimshon ben Shalom. Let's go, Numbers 23:9. So here we have Bilam, which is a non-Jewish prophet, about to prophesize and curse the people of Israel. He's looking at them from an overhead view on the mountaintops, and the enemies of Israel all preparing for this curse. Bilam's like locked and loaded. He's about to curse the people of Israel. This is the stage that has been set. And he says, "As I see them from the mountaintops, gaze on them from the heights, there is a people that dwells apart, not reckoned amongst the nations." That's how he starts off over here. So Rashi says, what's going on over here? When Bilam says, from the top of the rocks, I see them, he's not talking about his geographical position, even though he was on top of a mountain looking at them. He really means to say, I looked at their origin and at the beginning of their root, where they come from, and I behold them strongly founded as yonder rocks and mountains through their ancestors and ancestresses. And I never said that word before, but that's what they typed. And behold, the sages of Israel teach. Rabbi Yochanan says, from the blessing of that wicked person, Bilam, you can ascertain what was in his heart. So based on what he just said above, with the rocks and the mountains and looking at them, that was actually part of his curse. So we can see, we call it a blessing because we flipped it, but he tried to curse them. We could see what was in his heart. What does that mean? Based on the above teaching, we must understand what was in the heart of Bilam, that he chose to curse Israel with the following statement, as I see them from the mountaintops, gaze on them from the heights. What was in his heart? What did he mean to curse them with? There is what to say based on the teaching of the Holy Shla on the below verse. I wrote down the name over here, Yeshayahu ben Avram HaLevi Horowitz, great sage, 1500s. Leviticus 26:42. Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob. I will remember also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham, and I will remember the land. His question above is the following. This verse seems to be one of comfort and assurance. However, in this chapter, we're in the middle of the curses that will befall Israel. So part of the Torah, God lists all the curses that will befall Israel over time, and smack in the middle, they put this verse, which just seems like a comfort. And we've not yet finished that. We didn't finish the curses yet, and in the middle, where's there room to insert this random verse that seems like a blessing and comfort? Like, I'll remember my covenant with Jacob. I'll remember, like, I got your back, God seems to say, like, whoa, you're in the middle of the curses. Don't make a little blessing sandwich over here. What's going on? And I have received and understood that this verse, too, is included in the aspect of rebuke and shame. As there is a great difference between... So basically we're saying when God remembers the ancestors, we're like, oh, that's not a good thing. Why? There is a great difference between a wicked man, who's the son of a wicked man, who is a sinner, than a wicked man, who's the son of a righteous man. as the punishment for a wicked man who has a righteous father is greater than the wicked son of a wicked man. This is because he saw his father behave in a righteous and kind manner, and the ways of his ancestors aren't currently within his reality, means you know better. And similarly, there is a difference in scenarios when one is dwelling in a lowly level than one who is dwelling in a place of Torah. If you know Torah scholars and you're surrounded by smart, spiritual people, you're going to get judged a little different than if you're on the streets all day, just hanging out, doing no good, drinking. On this, the verse is really saying, I will recall these matters for the purpose of holding it against you. God's like, when I remember Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it's not because of a good thing right now. That you are from the holy seed of the founding fathers of Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the land I will recall as well, since I gave you the land of Israel, and the land of Israel makes someone by default wiser. As we see from the Talmud, it says, conclude from this incident that the heir of Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, makes one wise. I wonder why that is. It could be, these ley lines from ancient times that pass through the world in these concentrations of energy in certain places. It could be that. It could be the wine. It could be the people. Nonetheless, God is looking at the ancestors of Israel to call us out and being like, there's more expected of you. You're going to have a lot more accountability. And with all of this, you still did not go in the path of the straight. Therefore, everyone shall place within his heart and their heart those that had ancestors who feared the heavens. Even one who is sitting amongst wise scholars learned with Torah, you must try diligently to go in their footsteps. In regard to study of Torah, their actions and their attributes, and to go in the ways of the favorable ones. Follow that path, my friends. And this is what Bilam the wicked was saying. As I see them from the mountaintops, gaze on them from the heights. And we saw Rashi, don't forget Rashi says, he explained that he was recalling their patriarchs and matriarchs, and he was trying to bring an evil eye on Israel that they were not following the footsteps of their holy patriarchs and matriarchs. And because of that, their punishment should be greater. And it was a tremendous act of kindness that the Holy One, blessed be He, that the curses of Bilam were flipped into blessings. Incredible. I just want to wrap up over here just this crazy concept that there is a reality in the heavens called cursing, and there's also a reality in the heavens called converting the curse into a blessing. So we should all walk away from this lesson knowing that no matter who's got evil eyes on you, whoever's got quote-unquote beef with you, whatever you want to call it, if there's negative energy coming your way, don't hold it inside of you. Don't acknowledge it. Just go after your ancestors, and the universe will turn that curse into a blessing. It's not even like we just rejected it and swatted it away from the hoop. We swatted it away from the hoop all the way to the other side of the court and hit a basket. So it's like super blessing. So that's that. And the last thing is just the epigenetics, is that based on who our ancestors were, it could affect us. But I don't want people to feel discouraged if you feel like your ancestors may have been evil, or if you're not from the house of Israel and you feel like there's favoritism over here, because the truth is our genetics all go back to the same person, which is Adam. So if we really want to tap into our epigenetics and go back to Edenic consciousness, we have Adam's DNA inside of us. We could all go right back there. And we also teach when someone joins the Torah and starts learning the Torah, it's as if his soul was at Sinai. It's not like he's a convert or rejoining out of nowhere. He was a lost soul from this truth, and he's coming back to it now. So this is for everyone. So join in, tap into your epigenetics, either manifest it, or reach out and learn how to get closer to the Torah and to feeling good inside of your brain. Shabbat Shalom. Stay strong. Over and out.